Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to our video about our upcoming weekend, activating the Holy Grail within. My name is Rachel, and it's my absolute joy to partner with David to bring you this opportunity to go within to a deep level for self-inquiry. And my passion, my beliefs is that every single one of us has a part of us that is sacred, our sacred essence, that is divine and is the truth of who we are, beyond separation and untethered, and thankfully beyond whatever is seemingly going on in this world. Yeah? And I don't know about you, but I have moments of being in absolute bliss when I know myself, and it feels amazing and wonderful. And then I forget. I often call myself Dory from Finding Nemo, because it's like there I am, having done all my practice, thinking this is amazing, I'm totally aligned, and I'm seeing through the eyes of divine love, and then wham, I get pulled out and I forget, and I can get distracted. My world seems to be distorted, and I know, though, I do know, thanks to many years of learning and still learning, that it's an illusion, that my ego's narrative, the limiting beliefs or misbeliefs, as I call it, my own misbeliefs, are in the way of me knowing my truth as a divine being. So for me, it's my passion, it's my purpose to support others in them knowing themselves, in you knowing who you truly are. And that means to support you in becoming aware of your blocks, of your limiting beliefs, your ego's narrative that stops you from knowing yourself, who you are, and bringing it all into awareness and into divine consciousness and coming back home. For me, Mary Magdalene has been a very significant guide for me, particularly actually only, I would say, since last August 2022, when I was sick again with COVID, my third time of having COVID and having long COVID. And in my meditation, she came to me and basically she was like, right then, let's sort this out, shall we? And she has worked very closely and deeply with me, showing me some of my more hidden limiting beliefs and where it stops me from knowing myself. And I'm very happy to share that with you, some of that wisdom that she shares with me. I'm very happy to share that with you as well during this weekend, some of it during this weekend. So yeah, I am a priestess of Avalon, healer, a channel of Mary and other higher sacred beings, and a teacher and a guide. And so that's a little bit about me. I would like to introduce my partner for this weekend, the lovely David. Lovely David. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I will do, Rachel. And I know we were talking earlier on, and you asked me this great question, and you actually said to me, who are you at a soul level? And that gives you a really good idea of what we're about this weekend, in that when myself and Rachel met, and it was at the Goddess Luminary leadership training in Glastonbury, we actually met during year one of the course, it was a sense actually from a spiritual perspective of deep calls to deep. We're both committed to doing our inner work. we're on our journey, we're doing our spiritual practices. And it was really through that there's really a sense of us coming together for this work here was really around this sort of myth of the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is kind of been a search for something out there. And both myself and Rachel thought, well, actually, what about the Holy Grail within? What if it was within and you're not searching without? It's my personal belief that we have everything actually within, the inner wisdom. So really, this weekend is about activating the Holy Grail within, and that's what gets me excited. And Rachel asked me earlier, at a soul level, what are you here to do? What are you about, David? And I thought about that. And for me, it's a sense that actually I'm here to love, honor, and nurture the divine in all those I meet. And I say that because I'm an ordained one spirit interfaith minister here in the UK. And those words have actually formed part of my personal vow when I was ordained. And really, as an interfaith minister, I welcome people of all faiths and those as none. And I've journeyed quite broadly across a number of different faiths. So for me, spirituality is not religion. It's about being fully alive, relationships, and that which gives meaning and purpose to life. So I know I'm looking to bring this to this retreat, and so is Rachel, this sense of giving a real deep meaning and purpose to your lives. And actually, I think, as I said, really experiencing the sacred union through the divine feminine and the sacred masculine has in fact become something of a Holy Grail calling for me. It's led me to connect with the men's rites of passage community here in the UK. And actually, I took my full rites of passage in 2011. And just this year, I was the only man to complete the Goddess Luminary Wheel 2-year leadership training here in Glastonbury. And this experience led me to a deeper understanding of myself, and perhaps more importantly, of the divine feminine or goddess. Now, Rachel's spoken about her connection with Mary Magdalene. And for me, I've always felt an affinity with Mary Magdalene. I remember standing in a convent dedicated to her in Jerusalem when the following words or haiku poem came to me, and it was this: Mary Magdalene, forgotten down the ages, held now in my heart. So I view Mary Magdalene as a wise spiritual teacher, actually an equal to Jesus or Yeshua. And when spiritual people speak or they use the term Christ consciousness, I place Magdalene consciousness alongside this as an equal.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing your experience with Mary. You've reminded me of something. I've just come back from France for my own personal pilgrimage to France and to connect with Mary Magdalene at a deeper level and the Cathars. And there's something that came to me. There was an incantation that I was asked to take with me around the sacred sites. I had to look up incantation just to make sure that I got it right, because I thought, I think it's this, I think it's a chant, and it was a chant. But I will share with you this because the haiku poem reminded me of this, and this is something that I have been chanting around France for about 12 days. And it goes like this, because it's very significant, I think, for our weekend and what our weekend is all about. And the fact that we will be guiding people to connect with Mary Magdalene, and to receive a healing transmission from her, and also an activation. So I think it's rather beautiful that I share this incantation. And it's this. I won't sing it. But I will say it. And it's Mary Magdalene, guide me to the light. Guide me to divine, deep within. Mary Magdalene, show us our misbeliefs. Bring them to the light. Return to love. Returned to love. Whoa.
That's quite beautiful, and actually reminds me, doesn't, I think Marianne Williamson has a book called Return to Love, if I remember correctly.
Do you know what? She does. She does.
Which actually has been an important part of my journey in, in exploring this whole sense of bringing together, the divine feminine and the sacred masculine and what it means, which I just sense is really just it's so important. It's a difficult piece of work, but I think we're both drawn to these difficult areas, as we said, going deep and actually and facing those places. I know when we're in our training, you know, there was a sense of times of, you know, from some faith perspective, there's dark night of the soul, and this is part of it. So
yeah, I think this is definitely part of it, and this is one of the reasons why I think we work so well together, is that you know, yes, it's from the light, but Mary is very much like from the light, shining it into the darkness, shining it into the shadow. Because how can we truly be aligned with our higher self? How can we find the Holy Grail within if we don't know what stops us, right? So